One of the few establishments you have to worry about the food and its employees and not the clientele. With the release of DUAD, Poisonaire or Poisonaire is now a one-card Fiendsmith combo, and I'm going to show how. So we're going to start here by normal summoning the Poisonaire, as I'm just going to call it for this video, and we're going to use its effect, adding ourselves our first new card from DUAD. This is the Miracle Raven. Its pendulum effect reads, once per turn during your main phase, you can ritual summon this card by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed 1. Its monster effect reads, you can ritual summon this card with Miracle Raven. Must be ritual summoned. This ritual summoned card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effect. If you ritual summon exactly one ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, this card you control can be used as the entire tribute. If this card is tributed for a ritual summon, you can add one ritual monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Miracle Raven once per turn. Now, I'm not going to go over the card individually right now, as you're going to see a ton of uses this card has in the deck throughout these combos. So we're going to continue here by scaling the Raven so that we can use its effect in order to ritual summon itself out by tributing the Poisonaire. And now we'll be able to use the effect of Poisonaire, which will be able to scale itself. Then we'll use the effect of Poisonaire on the scale in order to bring itself out onto the field, changing the battle position of Miracle Raven, as we're now going to go into our Fiendsmith combo. And this is where the Miracle Raven provides some value, having that extra body to give you another extender just in case you only end up on one monster and can't do anything. Now you have the ability to go into your Fiendsmith combo. But as I'm going to end with the Caesar now, I'll take you on to the next combo. Now for this next one, we'll be starting with just the Herald, and we're going to start here by normal summoning it, as we'll then be able to use its effect in order to send away the Herald of the Arclight. And as stated before, the Miracle Raven does have a lot of uses, including being able to tribute off the Herald, and because our Poisonaire happens to be a fairy monster, we have a target for the Herald. We're then going to use its effect, as now we have the Poisonaire and the Miracle Raven on field together again, except this time we'll be able to get an extra card, as we're going to get another copy of Miracle Raven, as now we can scale the Miracle Raven. It's not a hard once per turn to ritual summon, so we'll be able to ritual summon it again, as we'll then be able to get the tribute effect off of Raven, which means that we'll be able to add ourselves the copy of Angry Burger. And this is the second new card and first new card of the archetype. It reads, this card is always treated as Hungry Burger. You can ritual summon this card with a recipe card. All monsters your opponent controls must attack this card if able. You can only use each of the following effects of Angry Burger once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, add one Nouvelles monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, shuffle this card into your deck. Quick effect, you can tribute one attack position monster on either field, and if you do, special summon one Hungry Burger with 2000 attack from your hand or deck. So a really nice card here that can get you into another Nouvelles monster, which can get you into yet another new card, as you'll see momentarily, as we're going to use its effect in order to add ourselves the Chef. And the Chef is a scale 0 pendulum monster. It reads, during your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you can add one Nouvelles card from your deck to your hand, except a pendulum monster. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field except during the damage step, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Chef once per turn. So a really strong pendulum effect, as you'll see later on, but its monster effect reads, if this card on the field is tributed and added to the extra deck face up, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. You cannot activate the following effects of Chef in the same chain. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target one effect monster on the field, increase its level by up to 3. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can banish one recipe ritual spell from your deck or graveyard, apply that card's activation effect that ritual summons a monster. Now keep in mind that is an effect that may be more relevant during your opponent's turn, so you won't see it a lot throughout this video, though I guess the last combo kind of does have a little bit of it. But we're now going to continue by scaling the Chef, and the Chef will give us the ability to add our next new card, and this is the recipe book. I'm not going to read the whole name of it, but it's a continuous spell that reads, while you control a Nouvelles monster card, all face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to attack position. Each time a monster is tributed by a ritual monster's effect, your opponent pays 850 life points. Once per turn, if you special summon a ritual monster, except during the damage step, you can target one of them, add one recipe or one Nouvelles card from your deck to your hand, except a continuous spell, and if you do, increase that monster's level by 1. You can only activate one recipe book per turn. Now, if you're wondering why I'm adding all this stuff here, is because I just want to read the new cards. it obviously depends on what the rest of your hand is to know what you want to add. And in this particular scenario, we're just going to end up Fiendsmith comboing again. So there's really no point into getting a specific add for this combo. But because I wanted to read the new cards and tell you guys that you can add whatever helped your hand best, I felt it was best to go over that. But we're going to continue here by now activating the continuous spell. Closed, go into our Requiem. As you'll see, we're now just going to Fiendsmith combo, and I'll probably skip the rest of the Fiendsmith combos unless I can't, just because I don't want the video to get too repetitive with that. But we're going to go into our Necroquip, bring back the Fiendsmith Engraver. We'll then go into our Caesar and pass on to our opponent. Now, for this next one, I want to show what happens when you have the Diviner alongside a Ritual Monster. And in this case, we actually need the level 1, I believe, because we're going to tribute off the Poisonaire, but we're going to use the effect of Herald in order to get ourselves the Raven. Then we're going to activate the Raven, as we'll then be able to use the Raven in order to tribute off the Herald, ritual summoning itself out. Use the effect of Herald to bring out the Poisonaire. Use the effect of Poisonaire, as this will give us the ability to get ourselves the copy of Raven. Activate the copy of Raven. Raven can now tribute off the copy of Raven so that we can get the addition of Angry Burger, I believe, as we'll then be able to go and use the effect of Angry Burger, as we'll then be able to add ourselves the copy of Chef. Now we can activate the copy of Chef. Chef will give us the ability to add a Nouvelles card from our deck to our hand, as we'll then be able to activate the copy of the Field Spell. Use the effect of the Field Spell to get ourselves the Fish Recipe, and now we can activate the Fish Recipe, tributing off the Poisonaire so that we can bring out the copy of the, I forget the name of the level 1, but we're also going to add ourselves the Meat Recipe because we ritual summoned out the level 1 with the Fish Recipe. So we're now going to use the effect of the level 1 as Chainlink 1 and the Poisonaire as Chainlink 2, as we'll scale the Poisonaire, get ourselves 5 excavations. At this point, I'm just going to do 5 random cards from deck, just so that we don't dilute the combo. But from here, we're going to use the effect of the Poisonaire, use the effect of the level 1, as this will be able to tribute itself off alongside the Miracle Raven, and then we can special summon out the copy of the Poisonaire, giving us the level 3, which will net us a draw. And now we have 2 bodies that you can either use for the Fiendsmith combo, or you can keep the Ritual Monster on field, use another body alongside the level 1 for the Fiendsmith combo. It really depends on what the rest of your hand is, but with this, I'll take you on to the next one. Now, for this next combo, we're going to be featuring the Quick Play, Concours the Cuisine, the Culinary Confrontation, I think it's called, and then there's the Field Spell. I'm not going to read this one, but we're going to start here on the draw phase by activating the Quick Play, special summoning out the Poisonaire alongside the Coverture, and then we're going to continue by using the effect of Poisonaire by getting ourselves the copy of the level 1 Ritual Monster. We'll then be able to go onto the main phase, activate the Field Spell, get ourselves the copy of the Fish Recipe, activate the Fish Recipe. This will give us the ability to bring out the level 1, add ourselves the Meat Recipe, use the effect of level 1 as Chainlink 1, use the Poisonaire as Chainlink 2, scale the Poisonaire. We'll then excavate 5, which again, I'm just not going to bring out anything so that we don't dilute the combo. Use the effect of the Poisonaire, as we'll then be able to trigger off the level 1 so that we can tribute itself off alongside the Fusion Monster, bring out the copy of the level 3, and again, at this point, we're going to get ourselves a draw. We can then use the effect of the Quick Play in the graveyard so that we can target the level 3. Use the effect of level 3, as we'll then be able to tribute itself off alongside the Poisonaire. We'll then get ourselves the level 5. Use the effect of the level 5 alongside the effect of Poisonaire's Chainlink 2 to scale itself, as that's not a hard once per turn. And at this point, I'm going to add the Chef here just to show off the new cards again. You can add whatever you want at this point. You could get the Counter Trap, you can get another Ritual Monster, depending on what the rest of your hand looks like, but we're just going to add the Chef here, use the effect of the Chef, getting ourselves the copy of the Continuous Spell, and from here we can then activate the Continuous Spell. Do keep in mind, if you do have an extra Ritual Monster though in hand, this could be the preferred play that you want to go for, just because you have the ability to special summon out the Chef once your opponent has something on board, or once they special summon something rather, and then you have the ability to get its other effect whenever they special summon something in order to ritual summon that potential monster out. Then of course you also have the interruption that you get off of the level 5 to tribute off their attack position monster. Now, for this next one we have the Angry Burger alongside the copy of Fish Recipe, and we're going to start here by activating the copy of Angry Burger. This will add us the Poisonaire, normal summon the Poisonaire, as we'll use its effect in order to grab ourselves the copy of the level 1, then we can activate the Fish Recipe, bring out the copy of the level 1, use the effect of the level 1 as Chainlink 1, alongside the Poisonaire as chain link 2 as we get the meat recipe off of the fish recipe. Then be able to excavate 5 here as we're then just going to hit random cards. Again, trying to not make anything RNG dependent, but we're going to use the effect of the Poisonaire now. Go into our Fiendsmith combo, and as I said, from here you can pretty much just go into Sequence or your Caesar depending on what the situation is. I'm just going to show the rest of it this time around because it was a really short combo. But we're just going to get back our Engraver here. We'll then go into the Caesar. Now, for this final one, I wanted to show a hand with pretty much everything that you could use, sort of. And we're going to start here by activating the copy of the Continuous spell, then activating the Chef. Use the effect of Chef in order to get ourselves the Field spell. This will help us play around Droll, because if you got Droll here, at least you still have the Herald for the next turn. But we're going to continue here by activating the Field spell, getting ourselves the copy of the Fish recipe, and then from here we'll be able to normal summon the copy of the Herald, use the effect of the Herald, sending away the copy of the Arclight, getting ourselves the copy of the Miracle Raven with the Arclight, activate the Miracle Raven, use the Miracle Raven's effect in order to tribute off the Herald, use the effect of Herald alongside the Continuous spell. That's something really nice about this, the fact that you can chain block the Herald so that it's just not easy Ash bait. Do keep in mind though, because you are using the Continuous spell as chain link 2, that can get hit by Ash, which means that you wouldn't be able to get the counter trap or whatever else you need. But we're going to now use the effect of Herald here, resolve it as chain link 1, and then get ourselves the copy of Poisonaire. Use the effect of Poisonaire, as we'll then be able to add ourselves the copy of the level 1, and then activate the fish recipe. And you've pretty much seen this before. We're going to get ourselves the meat recipe, use the effect of the level 1 as chain link 1, the Poisonaire as chain link 2, get ourselves the Poisonaire on scale, as we'll then be able to excavate 5. This time, because we're doing just a random test hand, we will be able to add a card to our hand. In this case, we are getting ourselves the level 4 ritual, and from here we can use the effect of Poisonaire, and because we have the Miracle Raven in attack mode, we can tribute it off for the effect of the level 1. We'll also be able to inflict damage via the Continuous spell, as we're now going to have access to the level 3 on board with the Poisonaire on field, get ourselves a draw, which we get ourselves the quick play. That's a crazy draw, but we're going to now use the effect of the field spell to put back the level 4, get ourselves another draw, and now because of these 2 draws that we got here, you're going to see now we can just go into our Fiendsmith combo and protect the rest of our plays from this point on. I'm going to bring out the Lacrima, use the effect of Lacrima, send our way the copy of Engraver. We'll then be able to use the effect of Requiem so that we can go into our Necroquip, use the effect of Engraver, putting back the close to our extra deck, as we'll now go into the Caesar, Arte, or whatever it's called, as we'll get ourselves the level 3, get back the copy of Fish recipe from our graveyard because we happen to get the level 3 to our hand. It is random whatever our opponent picks, but I just think that if they see the Searcher, they might not add it, and they might give you the level 3 instead since you've already gotten the draw. But we're going to continue here by activating the quick play. Now we can give our opponent a monster alongside getting the Chef to our field. We'll then be able to activate the Chef in scale so that we can special summon it out, activate the Fish recipe. We can now ritual summon out the level 3, as we'll then be able to use the effect of Chef to scale it, use the effect of Chef on field so that we can target the level 3, try and change its effect, but we just want to get the level 3 effect off, inflict more damage with the Continuous spell. Now we can get the level 5 after we tribute our monster alongside the attack position fusion monster that we gave our opponent, and now we're going to use the effect of the level 5, getting ourselves the level 2, which is a spell and trap pop. Now, during our opponent's turn, not only do we have the interruptions that we get from the level 5, the 2 traps that we have, and the Caesars, but because we have the Chef, we can also potentially banish a recipe monster or a recipe card from our deck and or graveyard, and then have that spell and trap up that we get from the ritual summon that this effect becomes off of that banish in order to provide more forms of removal. And finally, you can go to the end phase here where you'll be able to activate the field spell just to show you can put the Herald back into the deck, get yourself a draw, which just gets us another interruption. And with this, I'll take you onto the deck profile. So with all of the combos out of the way, we can now get onto the deck profile. And I wanted to play 60 just because it feels like there's a lot of cards that you do want to play. In fact, I am thinking of playing the Preparation of Rites over the pre-preps just because the Preparation of Rites can add just about anything in your deck, and sometimes you can cycle through your ritual spells pretty quickly. As you see, I'm only on 1/1, so being able to get them back with the prep is kind of nice, especially since this can be dead if you do happen to cycle your 2 ritual spells, since we are only playing 2. So just something I would like to point out there. Because we're playing the Miracle Raven and the Fiendsmith stuff, it does take away some of our going second space, which may be undesirable to some deck that already is meant for board breaking. You can potentially still steal games like that, though keep in mind it is Nouvelles, it is a rogue deck. I'm not trying to sell you on the next tier 0, so take anything power-wise with a grain of salt. That said, I still think that the deck is really cool and different lines of play that can really challenge your opponent to knowing what they have to stop. Because if they don't, things can easily snowball and you can start tributing off their monsters, having a bunch of different forms of removal or just interruptions. All of that out of the way, I think I showed everything I wanted to in the combos, and I'm just going to get onto the card by card. So we have the 3 Herald, the 2 Angry Burger, and the 1 Hungry Burger. We unfortunately can't play 3 of the Angry because we're playing the Hungry Burger. Then we have the 1 level 6. We then have the 2 copies of the level 5, the 1 copy of the level 1, the 1 copy of the level 4, the 2 copies of the level 3, and the 1 copy of the level 2 for our ritual monsters. Then have the 3 field spells, the 1 continuous spell, the 1 meat recipe, the 1 fish recipe, the 1 counter trap. We then have the 3 copies of Chef, the 3 copies of the Poisonaire, the 3 copies of the Arte. We then have the 3 copies of the Culinary Confrontation, the 3 copies of Pre-Prep or the Prep. We then have the 3 copies of Imperm, the 3 copies of Ash, the Fiendsmith package, the 1 copy of Talents, the 3 Miracle Ravens, our 6 Charmies. We then have the 3 Droll, and the 3 Impulse to round out the main deck. Onto the extra deck, we have the Gorgon, the 1 copy of Dynamondo, which is pretty nice in this deck, being able to bring back your ritual monsters, that ritual engine online again. But then we have the Rose Moon, the SP, the IP, the Sequence, Requiem, Caesar, the copy of Desiree, the copy of Necroquip, the 2 copies of the Fusion. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm not going to try. Then we have the 1 Entis and the 2 copies of Herald to round out the extra deck. Finally, for our options, playing Terraforming for the field spell could be nice, but I just don't think it's necessary with all the ways to search it. On top of that, I still wanted to save slots for going second, of course, because we had to play extra slots for the Miracle Ravens and the Fiendsmith stuff. But then there's also the Ashlyn, and I guess that this could be an interesting card if we do get a Nouvelles with a different type, with a different attribute rather, because I believe all of this stuff here is dark, and that means that unfortunately we can't get that search because it needs a different type and attribute. Again, the Readying of Rights, I'm not playing it just because of space. I wanted to keep more going second cards. Zombie Vampire is really here just because it can change the level of stuff to whatever its level is +3, and a lot of the times it might be this. Being able to end on just being level 8 plus another potential level 8 to get via a Synchro Summon off of Herald is an option, because I've also thought of lowering this count down to 1 and then going for a different option. Then there's also the Herald and the Ava if you want to play an extra target for the Herald to special summon out the Ava, then link away with this, get yourself the copy of Orange Light. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.